So the topic of rhythm games and influences has cropped up a bit in recent memory, and I think now's a good time to discuss the importance of influences, what with the wake of BPL 2DX draft and other events that might have been running alongside or since those events have occurred. A couple of months ago, I saw a tweet asking what influences would be best to promote rhythm game tournaments. Many answers were as expected: anime influencers, VTubers, big name streamers, the obvious suspects. But there was a prevalent thought at the back of my mind as I answered the question myself. Does the community produce anything of value for influencers to latch onto right now, whether it be news, tournaments, or other major events? The short answer to that question is no, and the long answer is hell no. But that leads to the question of what players and community members can do in order to change that perception. It's a topic I technically talked about in my last discussion video, but I'm going to go into it in a bit more general context rather than specifics like events last time. A potential setback is that outside of Japan, Korea, and maybe Singapore, Autogame doesn't really have a culture like fighting games for outsiders to build upon in much the same way. Much of English-speaking Autogame culture is either heavily internet-focused or highly localized. Speaking as a historian, local history in general is not very interesting to a lot of people unless it holds significant wider value to a broader topic, like for instance Arslan Ash in Pakistan for Tekken. That being said, there are two sources of potential inspiration that we can look towards from other scenes, those two being Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel and the guy whose content structure I basically plagiarize from every second video, Margin Obama. Obama's video on the Crazy Raccoon Cup event for Street Fighter 6 encapsulates many points relating to this video that I think are worth mentioning. CR Cup had well-known VTubers like Hololive's Inugami Korone and Shishiro Botan, alongside veteran players like Daigo and Kazunoko. You had this pro player appeal alongside influencer staying power, bringing attention to the wider fighting game scene as a whole. Not only are newer players more motivated to play when given direct agency alongside higher level players, it makes the genre much more approachable when people see their favorite influencer properly involved with the game, which creates a much more organic format than just, here's some people you know, please watch, we spend a lot of money on them, and they want the bag. On the other hand, Ludwig's Master Duel streams weren't exactly a watershed moment for new player engagement, but it fulfilled something of value for established content creators in the scene to promote the game on their own terms. The relatively watered down format of the event gave big content creators in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Sphere like MBT extra content to talk about the state of Master Duel and Yu-Gi-Oh! As a whole for casual audiences in much more depth, while also giving Master Duel a much needed boost of attention that Konami themselves neglected until fairly recently, what with the Master Invitational event and the recent qualifiers for Worlds 2023. The point I'm trying to make here is this: players need to create initiatives that give influencers and promoters reason to check out rhythm games and adjacent events. It's cool to have big names checking our games out for a wider audience, but players hold some responsibility for making their scenes more interesting, whether that's through video content like this or through events. In that sense, Japanese scenes have a head start here. Multiple podcasts like Autogame Days, Brow Radio, or the joint initiative between Phoenix and Nori aim to cover several perspectives of interest that influencers could unintentionally or potentially touch upon. To summarize, players should be promoting their games first and then taking advantage of greater forces at play, rather than letting outside influencers do the heavy lifting on their part and mistakenly presenting certain scenes in a particular light. Like always with these videos, I shift the question back to you. How do you think we should go about things? Do you think we should let influencers do all the work for us? Do you think we should strive to make more of an effort to make our games seem more approachable? Let me know your thoughts on the topic down below in the comments. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.